Alrighty, everyone. Let's get ready to stretch. All right, welcome to your stretch break today. We are going to start standing and then we will make our way down to the floor. So make sure you have some room to move. All right. Let's start with our feet planted into the floor, about hip width apart. And we're just going to take our head, we're going to go right ear to right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. Bring the chin down to the chest. Giving a nice stretch down the back of the neck. And take it into a circle. In both directions. Good. Keep the head down. Bring the chin back down to the chest. And we're just going to take the hands and we're just going to hold them together behind our back as we bring our chin down. Good. Go ahead and pull those arms. Let's focus on pulling the arms back, opening up that chest, giving those arms a nice stretch. All right, relax. We are going to do one arm at a time. We are really going to stretch that upper body. So we're going to take the right hand. We're going to bring it all the way up. I want you to think biggest circle that you can make within your range of motion. And then reverse that direction. About 3 circles in every direction. So 3 to the back. And 3 to the front. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to reach those arms all the way out. And then you're going to pull in with those elbows, tucking those elbows in, reach it out. And in. Now we are going to repeat that, but we're going to hinge it forward just a little bit. So we're going to have gravity also help us here. It's almost like you're ready to do a kick line, you know. Go ahead, reach them straight out again. This time, pulling them back in. Nice flat back. Reach out and in. Now from here, we're going to send them up over our head, still with this little bit of a hinged pattern here. We're going to reach straight up and out like we are Superman, about to take flight, or you're about to dive off a diving board, and then pull those elbows back down, taking it nice and slow. Good, reach it out. Now this might feel like work for some of you because if you have really tight shoulders, to keep those arms straight up by the ears is a feat in itself. All right, relax, stand it up. Take a head roll if that was a lot. All right, go ahead and cross the right arm across the chest, pulling it in, giving it a squeeze. Think of pulling it in and focus on your breathing, taking nice deep breaths. And then release. And same thing, other side. Good, and release. We're going to go hand up, reach it up as high as you can first, then bend it at the elbow. Use that other hand to help press this arm back. We're stretching all the way through here. And if you need more of a stretch, you can lean into it just a little bit. Now, when doing stretches like this where your arms are over your head, it's really tempting to open up the chest and let your rib cage flare out. Try to control the rib cage And pull it back down and in. Good. So instead of sending your ribs out, pull ribs back down and in. Okay. And release, nice and slow. All right. Next one you can do either on your desk or on your chair. You just need some hands, somewhere to put your hands now. If you want to go right down to the floor, you can do this on hands and knees as well. I'm just giving you some alternatives. So I'm just going to use my little bench here. So I'm going to do hands right about here. So same thing if your hands and knees, you can do it up here. Doesn't matter, wherever is most comfortable. We're going to bring our elbow up, so hand on the head. Doesn't matter which side you start with first, but we're just going to open to the side, bring it back down. So these are our thoracic rotations. Encouraging some rotation in the spine. Do about 3 on each side. And then other side, same thing. Bring that hand up. Think bringing the elbow down to meet your arm and then rotate it up and out as wide as you can, staying within range of motion. And one more. All right, we're gonna make our way down to the floor. It's time. We're gonna walk it out into a little bit of a plank position. Don't worry, we're not gonna hold it, I promise. Bring it out, take a nice forward fold, give those hamstrings a little stretch, and then hands come out nice and slow. Now, if you need to bend your knees here, bend the knees, and then walk it out into a plank. Now we're gonna hold it for 5 minutes, just kidding. Bring the knees down, rock the hips back into a child's pose. And take 3 nice deep breaths, let your head rest. Good, we're gonna pick it up. Now, if we are doing our child's pose and we're facing, let's say 12 o'clock, I want you to reach back out. So imagine your hands are the hands on a clock. We're gonna walk our hands over to about 1 o'clock. So a little bit on an angle. Take a nice deep breath in and now move those hands over to about 2 o'clock. Good. Bring it back up through noon, and then we're going to go over to 11 o'clock. Really hoping to stretch underneath our arms in our upper spine. And inhale, walk it over just slightly to about 10 o'clock. And back in a line to straighten. You can roll it up. And we are going to come into a pigeon pose next. So we're going to have our hands to support us. You're going to bring your right knee forward. Now there's modifications of this pose as well. So this is your pigeon. The goal is to have this leg be at about a right angle. And if you're like me and you're like, no way, bring that leg back in and just focus on keeping the hips as square to the front as possible. Now, if you need a little bit of a modification, bend this back knee and bend the front knee and come into a stag position and just lean forward through this leg. So choose whichever one feels the best. You should feel a nice stretch in the outside of that right hip. Good. Now, if you want, you can also take it down onto the elbows. Good. All right. Reach it back up. We're going to send this leg back onto all fours, and then left foot, left knee comes forward. Just So we're not just stretching just this hip, but you should feel a nice stretch in the leg that is outstretched, so in that hip flexor here. And you may need to adjust your positioning and play around with it. My left leg is not very flexible. Good. All right, bring it back up and back. And we are going to go into a thread the needle. So from here, we're going to go hands and knees. Now you can do this on hands and knees, or you can rock back into a child's pose and do this here. This is going to be a little bit, feel like it's a little bit more modified position. Now this is going to stretch that upper back. So under the scapula is that upper back. When you feel like you really need to release those muscles in your upper back, this is a great one to do. So we're going to take that right hand, slide it underneath, and as you come down, that left arm bends so that your shoulder can reach the ground. Now hips are up in the air, but you can also bring them down and rest them on your feet as well. Now this one is where you really get a deep stretch in that back, so find your range of motion and wherever you feel that stretch behind the shoulder, and hold it there. And if it gets to be too intense, just come on out of it, take it slow. Sometimes I feel like I could get stuck in that position. All right, same thing, other side. Left hand is going to come through. Reach it nice and slow. Nice job. Slide it back up. And we're going to go onto our back. We're going to roll it down and into some knee hugs. So roll through. I like to roll out my spine a little bit. And then from here, we're going to pull the knees into the chest. And I want you to wrap your arms around and just give the knees a hug. And if you can't do both, try one at a time. Or reach as far as you can, pulling those knees in. Now, if you feel when you pull the knees into the chest, you feel tightness in those hip flexors, again, make note of that. And we are going to bring our knees side to side. Doesn't matter which side you start with. We're going to go up and over, keeping our arms out to the side. Our core is what's controlling those legs as they come down, so that we're not flopping over. And now engaging your core as those legs come back up. And if that is a little bit too much, do one leg at a time, bringing it back. Let's go back one more time. Rotate side to side. Good, and back in line. We're going to place the left foot down, right foot crosses over, and reaching for that figure four stretch. There we go, and then you can even extend that left leg up straight and just give it a little flex, and you're going to feel that hamstring. You can point and flex the foot, give it some circles. Don't neglect your feet. And bring it down. Switch legs. And press that leg out to reach it up behind. And you can do some ankle rolls. Extend that leg up, give it a flex, point, flex, point, roll it around. All right, we're going to finish with our happy baby. Reach for those toes, guiding those knees down towards the armpits or just towards the outsides of your body, giving those hamstrings a nice little stretch as we finish our stretch class today. Good. All right, bring those legs back together. You can rock yourself back up to a seated position. Flip it over. I like to bring it through a forward fold. Try to touch the floor, bend and straighten those knees, feeling like if you need anything else that is to be stretched out, take a few minutes, stretch it out. If you haven't had your water today, go hydrate. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Thank you so much for stretching with me. See you next time.